they put too much pressure on men in today's society, and I wanted to rant about it because it's just unacceptable to me what I see going on, how much pressure men are put under in today's society, and they think that it creates a good outcome, but it doesn't. Like, we're not even fed the right food in school. Most people's parents don't even take care of their sons properly. They don't feed them the right nutrients to get their testosterone levels high enough to even deal with life. A lot of kids are depressed these days because their parents aren't even taking them outside to get enough vitamin D. Their parents just lock them in a room with an iPad. Their parents don't feed them right. They're feeding them Cheerios and processed foods. Their parents aren't even giving the kid the resources they need to succeed. And then we're blaming the kids for underperforming when it's not the kid's fault. And it's sickening because people are literally dying from abuse and neglect by their parents, by their families. Like, because people are getting diseases from not being taken care of. And then there's kids that have health issues these days, like diabetes, cancer, heart disease, from the parents not taking care of them. And then as men, we're expected to just man up through everything. What happened to rest when you're tired? You're not supposed to just man up through being tired. Oh, just work more. You got to pay the bills. That's not good for a human being. That can break your body down. And that's the problem with capitalism, is we value money over human life. And we need a better system in place because food is getting outrageously priced these days. And we need a better system. I don't know what the solution is. Maybe we could have kids plant community gardens everywhere. Maybe we could, I don't know what the solution is, but capitalism has allowed things like fast food to take over because it's supply and demand. Whatever gets the most purchases is going to succeed. And it's out of control. There needs to be laws in place to prevent this shit from happening. Because what happens is the average person only cares about taste and convenience. So they just buy fast food all the time at the expense of our planet, at the expense of our soil, at the expense of our environment, because everything's being sprayed with pesticides in these fast food restaurants, at the expense of people's health. People are not responsible enough to make their own decisions when it comes to what food they're eating. So there has to be some type of law in place that says, hey, if we're paying all this taxes out of our paycheck, let's get these kids, they're in school anyways. Most of them are probably bored being inside of a building all day. So let's bring them outside. Let's have them plant community gardens, and let's make food free for everyone. Let's make laws in place so we can have free food for everyone. Now, I understand some things might cost money because not everyone wants just the basics like fruits and vegetables. Maybe some people want more supplements and stuff like that, but even that should be cheaper. The government should be subsidizing things like medicine, like cannabis. Cannabis should not be illegal anywhere. There should be laws in place that make it even cheaper and easier to access because it's been scientifically shown to be good. And that's what I'm saying is we should have systems in place where food is free, where shelter is free, where healthcare is free, because the easier we are on men, what does that do for men? If men feel taken care of by society instead of beaten down by society, it lowers cortisol. And cortisol is can lower testosterone if it's in excess. So the problem with today's society is we stress everyone out. We feed them poison since birth, and we just stress everyone out in today's society because of the brainwashing and the programming that a lot of people's parents maybe not everyone is stressed out in today's society. Maybe some people had it really easy growing up, but a lot of people's parents put all this pressure on their kid. Like, you better get good grades so you can get a good job so you can retire me when I'm older, Jimmy. But then they don't feed their kid. Instead, they don't take their kid outside to play. They beat their kid, and that raises their kid's cortisol. And what cortisol does is cortisol can block your other more beneficial hormones like testosterone. So you want to have balanced cortisol. You don't want your cortisol to be too high from stress. There's certain herbs that can help with that, like ashwagandha, but at the end of the day, if the people in your life are stressing you out, you got to stand up for yourself and set boundaries. And that's the point we have to get to, is we men as a society, we got to be like, enough is enough. We're not disposable, like fucking disposable protectors and providers that are just supposed to slave away for the women and children. No. In fact, in nature, every worker bee is female. Every worker ant is actually female. The female lions help hunt for the male lion. So cortisol is bad for testosterone in men. So we're not designed to be under constant stress. So we need to develop a society where things are easy, where things are cheap, where things are affordable, where things are accessible. You should be able to live an amazing life working any job, even minimum wage, because that would free up the capacity for human evolution. Because a lot of times the people who are rich are the people who are the scammers, because that's the problem with capitalism, is it doesn't reward you for doing the right thing. It rewards you for whoever can take the most money from someone. So even if your product isn't good, if you advertise it falsely, you could still make a bunch of money. And that's the problem with capitalism, is it doesn't take enough into account the well-being of everyone. It's too much of a competitive mindset. And we're not supposed to be competing for resources. We're supposed to be sharing resources, because this is an abundant planet. So those are just my thoughts. I'm not saying I know everything. I don't even have the answers to this. I don't. But I just wanted to put this out there to get the conversation started. And I'll probably make more videos like this in the future. So if you like these kind of talks, feel free to follow for more. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know what you guys think. And until next one, I'm out. Love and peace.